So what I'm going to work on is use, I'm going to use the scene to my advantage. Meaning, I'm going to be using gouache. In gouache, what happens is I am able to overlay light colors on top of dark colors. I know I'm talking about the philosophy of painting before I show my face, but it works for now. Um, so I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can. So I'm trying to show you the abstract parts of this painting. And this is the interesting part. I'm moving my mouse over the screen and I don't know if you can see that actually. But this part, this mess of civilization, is what is very interesting to me. And the light in between is what we will capture. That's all I wanted to say. So those are my main aims. What happens with gouache is gouache can get a little bit tight, meaning even in thumbnails, I can get really detailed. And then it starts fatiguing me, fatiguing the paper, and it doesn't become an on-the-go material. So I've been trying to figure out how I can do on-the-go stuff. I tried reducing the size of gouache painting. So these are coasters, but again, this is overworked to death, and I'm trying to reduce this overwork. But I like to hit a limit and then come back, and not just hit a limit. I hit a limit and then you exceed the limit and then come back, because there's some jewel hidden in hitting limits too. So what I've been trying to do is limit either the number of colors or the number of shapes to be able to make gouache go fast. Um, is my audio okay and clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you all, I've been to Seattle and I've been things go up and down in my uh, book, but I've been playing and experimenting with random marks and so on and so forth, and reducing the number of marks. So what I'm trying to show you is I wanted to reduce the number of colors and shapes. Before I took it to gouache, I tried a similar scene because I was right there in Seattle with markers. When that worked, then I said I want to make a stencil and use tempera sticks that Jenny Adam got me hooked onto. So these are tempera sticks. But to use them without getting overboard, I made myself a template just like Nina did. So these are my extra large, large, medium, and then two very small, 1 and 2 outlets or masks or templates I wanted to use. And then just using these and the tempera sticks, I started building every scene, for example, like that. So I came in with a marker and then put that on, or this is a landscape scene. And I have used the same technique, but now moved it over to gouache, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. Some parts of it will stay ambiguous because I'm figuring it out, how to minimize the number of things we will make choices on. Okay, so for now, what will I need? You will need a piece of paper. How big a piece of paper? You will need a piece of paper about this big, and I've taped it off. I practiced the scene this morning just to make sure, and there are failures here, and I'll show you. I am also using a straight edge. Instead of a credit card, I'm using a dough scraper. If you are seeing the scene in front of you, I'm going to pick 4 colors and put them on my sheet just to show you my choices. Put my palette here so everybody can see what are my choices. I'm going to use a gray, and I am lucky to have these colors. I just picked them up yesterday from the studio. I did not know this was the scene I was going to do. I had a picture of daylight, but now we have a dusk scene. So we covered that, and we do need an orange. So we want to fake it with this yellow. And then we need a jewel color. So what can I use to pop this? I think I'm going to use this fluorescent orange once in a while. So we have 5 colors ready to go. The concept is this. The concept is I have to go from the biggest shape to the smallest shape. So my brushes are going to be a watercolor flat brush, followed by a flat brush which is smaller, but this is oil, doesn't matter, and then a round brush. Every time I change a brush, the thickness of color is going to change. So the widest rectangles are going to be the thinnest with the most water. So a watercolor brush will work. Then I'm going to make a thicker mix, and this brush will work. It's not even moving. And then the smallest brush will have to come with the thickest paint because I'm going to make these shapes on top. Can somebody unmute yourself because I feel I've lost the crowd. Okay, maybe I have.
No, it's all
here,
good.
we're here.
Okay, so I'm squeezing in some color, and you should do it too because I've picked my colors right now. Oh, sorry. Okay. 1, 2, and the yellow I already put in. The gray was new. So I'm gonna put it in here. What else do I need? White I have a bit of here. These I don't need. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this is just in case. I'm gonna leave it here. What you will definitely need if you're using gouache is water. I'm trying to fit everything in the camera view as much as I can. Okay. I'm going to speak my painting. How much time do I have, Jenny? I have 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Right now, I think you've been talking for about 6 minutes, so you've got 15 or so left, I would say.
Perfect.
At least. At least.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want
So
more
I'm going
time
to.
or less time?
No, this is good. We'll keep.
Okay.
We might go to 20
Yeah,
at the most.
don't worry, Uma.
Uh,
However much time you need.
this. I'm going to look at the sky and the water, which are the lightest things. I have narrowed my eyes and I'm looking at it, and I'm choosing which one is warm and which one is cool. Artificially, I'm going to make the water a little cool compared to the sky. The sky is going a light purple to yellow, light purple to yellow, and then blue to some weird, I've not figured that out. So these are my big shapes. My biggest shapes are going to also be my thinnest shapes, and I'm going, because I'm using square brushes, I'm hoping I will only make very rectangular marks. I'm going to try and keep it as a chaos of rectangular marks. That's the thing. Reduce the number of colors, reduce the number of shapes and strokes I will make. I want to make a purple, so I'm going to make a purple. This palette looks dirty, yeah. Okay, that's a purple and it's running. You're seeing my palette because it's running. Yeah, that's done. And it's going to yellow, so give it some space. Make it yellow. And that's my first rectangle. Okay, that's my first biggest rectangle. It looks choppy, let it be. It's a demo. It's an experiment. I had a little bit of blue here. My problem with my palette is because it's a plastic palette, it's taken on the color of previous paints. As soon as I cover all of this in white, we have a big problem because we've lost spaces where we could have kept a clean white of the paper. So I'm actually going to lift only in rectangles as well. What does lifting mean? Lifting is nothing but going with a dry brush over it, a semi-dry brush. If you've had 39 demos, I assure you there's nothing new I'll be saying.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't matter. We keep forgetting. Like if we remembered all the wisdom from 39 sessions, we would be so smart, but we are not. So
All right, we have the largest shapes and the thinnest shapes. What is the next big thick, wide shape that we can put. It is the entire civilization, but the civilization is broken into two parts. One is the far off hills uh, against which there is a bridge, and then the nearby things with the shipyard. The ship is really attractive. I want to make the ship really dark, so everything else I'm going to lighten a bit, which is fine. So I'm going to artificially make the entire background shape a darker purple. I already have a dark here. I'm not going in water because I want assurance that this is going to be a thicker mix. Very nice. This is an extra lively purple, and if it's extra lively, it's going to pull attention. So I need to neutralize it. So I could use a gray in it. I don't want to use a gray in it. I want to make it, what's the purple opposite of purple would be? Of this color purple.
Yellow.
Would be yellow. Okay, let's put yellow.
By the way, there is a gouache color question in the chat, and it's like, if you don't have gray or black colored gouache, what would you use instead?
Oh, I
Can
would
we
make a
do
neutral.
really light blue? A neutral, yeah. I think, yeah, maybe the color itself doesn't matter so much, but you need something dark and neutral probably.
Correct. I have already broken my own rule of, I'm still trying very hard to make rectangular marks only with my brush, but I'm coming in and covering as much as I can. Go fast. Okay. This civilization area. Looks really nice. In fact, I think I'm going to come in and draw the boat. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm drawing the boat. If I draw the boat right here, there's a reflection of a black hole. Doesn't make sense, but I'll have space to recover later. Okay, go for it. What you're hearing me speak is exactly what I'm resolving in my mind. There is really never a resolution. It's just solving.
I think it's so interesting that already at this stage with these blocked in shapes, you can already recognize kind of how the landscape works.
I also think why street worldview is successful is because of this cheerleading effect. Everybody needs a cheerleader. Everybody needs. Okay, I think we've distinguished a background, a far background. We don't have a distinction between them, but screw it. And then we have something in foreground and very near foreground. We have so many planes. This is awesome. There are issues. I need smaller marks, but I told you I will make smaller marks only with thicker pigments. And every time I change thicker pigments or went to a smaller mark, I would change brush. I'm ready to change my brush. Okay, bye my big brush. So with a smaller brush means smaller marks and thicker paints, which means I am going to distinguish. My first problem is I'm going to distinguish these two from each other. And that means adding a little bit of gray to the background purple. It's too much. Every time you switch a brush, you lose. What do you lose? You lose a sense of how much water its body has. So you have to kind of spend time in recalibrating, and especially changing between a watercolor and no, did not work. Watercolor and oil brush, they definitely have different hair and different capabilities. In gouache, you will spend a lot more time in the palette than on the paper because mixing it takes a physical amount of work. Oh, that's it. It's distinguished. This is different than that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Enough. Very nice. Now, what I'm really unhappy about is that there was a mountain right behind and the sunlight, which was so gorgeous. If I put in the mountain to look blue, I would have to have yellow in the sky. Because I don't have that, I'm going to let that mountain go and make the things in ahead so much more pretty. or at least claim they are. Also, I am adding buildings using the same color. I'm trying to see how I can extend it. This should be free flowing. You should look at a pattern, whichever pattern you see, you mark it. This really is play and making a jigsaw. Ooh, I think a little bit of yellow will do good. Made it green, horrible green. What should I do? What should I use? What we are missing while I'm painting, I'm realizing is that I have not figured out in my mind how I'm going to resolve this boat. How am I going to make it my hero? Why do I need a hero? I do need some kind of emotional and visual anchor for my paintings. Sometimes I have more than one. Right now, I want to have just one. This spot of plain is killing me. I have to cut it. I don't know what that shape is, but I know I have to cut that rectangular shape. Sorry, it's just something. Okay. I have sort of insinuated there is commotion and movement happening. This is looking like these shapes belong and they're building it up. But these are not defined very well. That's fine. They're going to recede, but they do need some dark. So I'm coming in with a blue. I do need a blue. I'm checking by moving with my brush the amount of color or water there is, and extra water I'm actually scraping away. Is there any blue? This is not making enough dark. And maybe I'll have to stick with it because I said we're going to stick with X number of colors. And so be it. Okay, bright blue. I don't. This will work fine. If I start looking at the back, at the bottom of this back hill, it wants you to put in these dark shapes, but don't pull them through and through. My shape has changed of my brush. Instead of it being flat, I have now turned it 90 degrees. So I'm still going to make rectangles, but smaller rectangles. Like so. Still rectangles, smaller rectangles, thicker rectangles.
I love the rhythm of it.
Yeah, right? It
Mhm.
forces a rhythm, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have stretched it. Okay. If I'm assuming people are painting along.
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Okay. This needs something, but I'm gonna stay as abstract as possible. Okay, yeah. I'm switching brushes. I'm done with the small brush too. I'm switching to the tiniest brush. Oh, I didn't tell you. I'm going to cheat in the end with a sketch pen and draw the bridge.
Oh, I was wondering.
Okay. I'm going to focus on the ship now. Because it's a round brush, even the smallest, even if I flatten it, these marks are super versatile. They might look rectangular-ish, but they are really versatile. I am going with the darkest dark and getting in my small marks that I need. It doesn't mean small has to be lightest. I'm trying to limit the shape again. Shape and brush, shape and brush. And it seems obvious. It seems obvious, right? A brush, if it's small, it can only make small shapes. This is, but in
Just letting the
watercolors,
brush,
go ahead.
you're just letting the brush do its thing, you know?
Correct. As it has to be thick. has to be thick, otherwise. Sometimes I rub it off the extra paint on the side. No, it's not distinct enough. Add more. Okay. I'm going to make just few things more interesting for the ship. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually drawing. It feels because these lines are so small. These shapes are so small, it starts looking like I'm drawing. I'm going to get more white because this gray is not cutting it. I'm getting confused, so I'm going to look at my picture a little bit and pick one or two buildings to espouse and then let the rest go. What does espousing a building mean? I don't know.
Housing a building.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's
the
so
word.
strange.
New word for VP World Tour.
Okay, that's good. My lights, I'm going to come in with lights for the far off lights with my fluorescent orange that I said I wanted to use. And I want to use that with white as well and a bit of yellow. It's super thick, goopy paint, by the way. And I'm gonna put it kind of randomly, but put it at a scale at which it is still believable. Can't have a huge light very far off like I did here. Okay, screw that. You missed it. Okay, that's that. And I need my darkest darks. Is this too small to see? I'm gonna pull this up a little.
I think, yeah, we always like details, but I think you can see it quite well.
Okay. And then some lights. Oh no, I want the darkest small stuff that's exiting the ship. And I'm making sure my brush is super dry but pliable, meaning it can't be bone dry. It should still bend, which it is. Okay, this is bendable. I'll put it on a different place so that, yeah, I want to do it. Okay, good. And I am going to see if I need my scraping tool. If somebody is a ship person, a nautical person, can they tell me what these things, these seemingly endless antennas from a ship are? They can't all be antennas.
Yeah. Well, it looks like there's a few ships kind of next to each other. But it's incredibly hard to see what's going on in that area. So I think it's up to you. It looks very ship-esque. Just need a few.
So cheating here. Oops, I did cheat big time.
We love cheating. Cheating and sketching.
Is this recorded?
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Gotta be clear about what we're talking about.
Okay, the cranes are lines, and those are lines I can say technically they are rectangles. Oh, look at this. This is looking cute now.
Yeah, I love the purples.
Nothing here looks good. And then I'm going to take the tape off later. I did not need the scraping tool to draw anything. because we've been going so thick, so fast. I'm sure my bottom of my page is dry enough. I'm gonna put in the bridge right now and then see if I need anything. What I have missed for sure is the distinction between this plane and this plane sort of looks different, yes. But this ship isn't pulling ahead as much. Oh, I know what that means. If something is not pulling ahead, that means there needs to be a dark behind it. So we make a dark. Thanks for letting me talk through. So we need the behind of the ship dark artificially, and we can do that. Did that pull it up? A little bit. We don't know what that bottom is now, so we'll have to give it a nice edge. Oh, very pretty. But if we cut that shape with white, that would be even better. So let's do that. What will resolve like a nice white thing that cuts it would be something narrow. This is not doing it, so there's going to be. Oh yeah, look at that baby. Sorry. You can't see that small at this point. Okay. Move this away. Move this closer.
Just to let you know, we're about at the 20-minute mark with the
Done.
demo.
Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bridge.
You're doing great on time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm drawing the bridge. I know it's a black line and you can't see everything. Oh, let's pull the black line ahead or behind. No, ahead sounds more attractive. So, and I remember from the day there was some cars, so we should mark them like that. There were some things I can see. Few of these lampposts. This is really hard to see. I agree. Come on. And I'm glad I drew this in the morning because I don't have to look at the reference. I know the bridge now. That's it. Okay, we have the bridge. I'm taking off the tape. Tape turn 90-degree pull. Did not work at the end. It still pulled off a piece of. That was so good doing this dark shape. That was the right thing. Oh yes. It means nothing, but it would have been an orphan corner. Look at this page. I think it's just enough. It's enough.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gouache. It's a mess, and I like it.
With like
What
that
would I
contrast.
improve?
Great.
No, I like it.
Sorry, what I would
I think-
improve here is this reflection, but next time.
Okay.
Thank you so
Wow.
much, everybody, for
So-
hanging in there.
That was really impressive to watch because you're like such a master and not you're like you never do too much in my opinion. Well, it looks like that from the outside. What you see yourself is always different, but it feels like to me it feels like you are like a master of simplifying these things into shapes and never doing too much and never like killing your paintings.
Thank you.
I know she
You're
works hard at
You're
that.
very kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look at the compliments you're receiving in the chat. Uma, you are a queen.
Crazy. People
Yeah.
are very kind. Thank you, everyone.